Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video we're going to be looking at doing a St. Patrick's Day themed nail art. So this is an easy design that you can do in the salon, and I will take you through 5 different tips with nail art on, well, with a design on each one. So let's get on with the video. Before we start creating the tips, I just wanted to show you my design. You can see my very awesome drawing skills. So we're going to sort of create using mostly green, and there's one gold nail across all of the tips. So it's going to be very easy if you're recreating this in the salon. But I'm then going to show you how to use acrylic, creating a little pot of gold, and I'll show you some techniques on how to do that as well. But this is going to be our sort of basic for our designs, so we'll get started with that. So here's our tips that I've prepared for this nail art. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to paint the thumb and the pinky with the green glitter. So I'll show you the colors that I use as I go through. So for the green glitter, we're using this one, Color Me Pretty. They're a really good gel polish supplier as well. And this one is the Royal Collection, and it's a beautiful, beautiful green color. Nice and glittery. So we're going to use that on our thumb and pinky, and then we'll move on to the other ones after that. So there is our thumb and pinky done. So they're all top coated and they're completely done. So the next finger that we're going to be working on is our pointy finger. So for this, we're also going to use the green glitter, but we're going to also paint a tartan pattern on it as well. So we'll start off by applying the green glitter the same way that we did with the other 2 nails. For the tartan, we're going to mix up some gold gel polish. So this is going back to the second video with the color mixing. So for that, we're going to be using our Anaconda pigment powder, so from Nail Swag Pigments. And we're just going to be using a clear gel polish, just a cheaper one off eBay. So we're going to put some of that onto the palette. Now, remember, we are actually painting one of our nails gold as well, so I'm going to make quite a lot, just so that we've got it ready when we get to that point. Then, using a cuticle pusher, like so, I'm going to put some of the pigment powder in. This is one of my favorite golds. So remember from the previous video with the color mixing, don't put too much pigment in, or else you'll end up getting like a sort of sludgy looking gel polish. So using my silicone tool, just going to mix that up. And there we have our gold gel polish. There you go. How beautiful is that? So now that we've got that, we'll just put away our pigment powder so that it doesn't go everywhere. Just knowing my luck, I'll knock it over. So we've got our tip. It's had 2 coats on it and I've cured it as well. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start the tartan. Now this is a very basic tartan pattern. It's probably not any actual real tartan pattern sort of out there, but it gives you the same sort of effect. So for this, I'm also going to be using black as well. So we're going back to our Old Faithful black, Urban Graffiti. So I'll put some of that on the palette as well. So you don't need a lot for this pattern. And for this design, we're going to use a long brush like this one. So this is the Brienne from Get Buffed. So it's a very long brush, so it's going to give us it's going to give us a lot less control, which gives us longer and straighter lines as well, if that makes any sense. Now, one of the things you probably would have picked up already, for this design, I haven't put any matte top coat over the top of this. Because we're not doing any really fine line work or fine details, it doesn't really matter. The gel polish will still stick and sort of give you a nice fine line anyway. It's when you get into the character painting, when you have little fine details and everything, where it's better to put a matte top coat on. So to start off with, I'm going to start with my gel polish. So like we've done previously, I'm going to drag my brush through the gel polish, making sure all of the bristles are coated and we've got a nice good coverage in there. Now when it comes to this type of stuff, you don't want to dig in your brush like this, because you don't want that, I don't know if you can see it, come on, focus. You see that ball at the end there? You don't want that, because that's where you're going to get a really thick line and then it's going to get thinner as you use the rest of the brush. So making sure that you drag your brush through your polish, even going a bit further out, just to make sure that you don't have any big heavy clumps of gel polish in there. So as you can see, I've got no build-up or anything. It's all through the brush. So we're going to start off this side. So again, holding your brush at about a 45-degree angle. Oops, not putting paint on there already. So like painting, hand painting, holding your brush at a 45-degree angle, placing the tip down, dragging it down. And the other side, so I'll turn mine around, placing the tip down and dragging it down, like so. So I'm just going to go in with my Brillbird line brush, with some cleaner on the bristles, and I'm just going to tidy that up. So there you go. Now you can at this point flash cure it for about 15 seconds or 30 seconds if you want. I'm not going to, I'm going to go straight in with the horizontal lines. So again, loading up my brush, making sure there's not a big amount of excess in there. And now we're going to do the horizontal lines using the exact same technique. So tip down and drag it across. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our gold that we created, and using the exact same technique, we're then going to create the gold lines in there.
I can't believe that you came into my life. You made me feel again, now it's my turn. You say you've always been a little bit shy, but I can put an end to your fears. Let me show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet until they start to bleed. DJ, take it away. Tonight is all for you and me. So baby, spin and let the music begin. I know you feel it within.
There we have our tartan all finished and top coated. So the next nail we're going to be doing is our middle nail. So this one is going to be the chrome with the acrylic cauldron on it. So for the chrome, I'm going to be using this color here. It's a beautiful darker green color. So you can get chromes from anywhere. Nail Swag have them, but you can also get them off eBay as well. This one, can't remember where this one's from. I know it's not from Nail Swag, but I think I might have got it off eBay or just an online beauty supply store. Just Google nail chrome and you'll be able to find some. So when it comes to chrome, the color that comes out after you've applied it will depend on the base coat that you apply. Now, I will normally apply black on the base coat because it's dark. It's going to make the green stand out a lot more. I have found that if I apply white, it dampens down the chrome effect and it creates a more pale color when you apply it as well. But you're just going to have to try with your various chromes. Also, different colored chromes have different effects as well, depending on your base color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply black onto this tip.
So go ahead and just spin for me. I want you to spin. Don't let the doubt in you win. I know you feel it within. So go ahead and just spin for me. I want you. I know it's hard for you to give it a try, but you are not alone. I'm here with you. I think you owe it to this beautiful night to lose all your control. Do it for you.
So I've only applied one coat of black because remember, you are going to be covering it with chrome. Just so long as you have an even layer across the tip, you don't need to apply multiple coats of black on there. Now, when it comes to applying chrome, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. One is the chrome shows up any little bumps or anything that you might have on the nail. So make sure that you have a nice smooth surface. If you have cured your gel polish and you find that you've got stuff stuck in there, try applying another coat. Just leave it to settle for a bit before you cure it, just to sort of let it spread out, and that will level it out a bit. The other thing you need to think about when using chrome is the type of top coat that you use when you apply the chrome. Now, some companies will have a special top coat that is for chrome. So Nail Swag, they've got this Chromeo, but I do find that some top coats will also work as well. So, for instance, the Magpie, Don't Be Tacky, that one also works as a really good base to put chrome on as well. So for this, I'm going to use my Chromeo. So you want to apply a thin layer. You don't want it really thick on there because remember, you're going to be top coating over the top of this as well. So applying that over the black gel polish. And again, making sure that you cover the whole nail. So you can see there, I haven't covered that part of the nail. So using the same technique as applying gel polish, making sure that you have covered the whole surface, there's no dents or dry spots or anything like that. And again, if you're not sure, you can always just roll it around in the light. Make sure you get a nice reflection from that light on the surface and that there's no lumps or bumps, or so you can see right there. Don't know if you can see that. I've got a spot over there. So I'm just going to go in. Just make sure it's nicely covered. Another really good way to get a flat surface is to actually turn it upside down. So by turning it upside down, all of the gel polish will actually pull down with gravity, and it'll also give you a nice domed effect as well. So you don't need to worry about it falling off the tip either. I have many times with these magnets attached it to my light and have forgotten about it for ages, and nothing's fallen off or anything. All it's doing is it's pulling the gel polish down from the sides, so making sure the sides aren't thick, but it's giving you a nice dome over the surface.
Move your feet until they start to bleed. Did you take it?
So when applying your chrome, you have two ways that you can apply it. There's probably more, but there's two ways that I use. Either with your finger, just rubbing it over the surface, or you can also use a silicone tool as well to sort of rub it in. But one of the things you need to keep in mind with your silicone tool is you do have this sort of sharp edge here, and you can cause a scratch in the chrome, and then you just have to reapply it as well. So to be honest, I prefer using my finger. I find that it doesn't cause any scratches or anything, and it really gives me a good overall cover. So we're going to go in just rubbing it all over the surface, making sure you cover all the areas. There's no black showing. Like so. Then just with a gentle brush, just dusting off the excess on that. because when you top coat, all that excess is going to go into your top coat. And there you have your chrome. So now I'm going to top coat this and get it ready to apply acrylic to it to create the pot of gold.
Tonight is all for you and me, so baby.
All right, so we're going to use our acrylic to create the pot of gold and the gold on top. So acrylic, when it comes to acrylic, it takes a lot of practice and it also takes a lot of patience as well. In saying that though, you do only have a certain amount of time before it cures. But one of the tricks that I have found is that if you're finding that it cures too quickly for you to shape the acrylic, especially when it comes to 3D artwork, a good way to slow it down is to either get a slow set monomer. You just need to have a look. Only some companies will will sell a slow set monomer. I think Fluid Nail Designs, they have a slow set monomer. The other thing you can do is actually warm up your monomer. So to do that, get a warm towel or something and sit your monomer on top of it. That will slow down the curing process, the length of time it cures, and it'll give you a bit more time to play around with it. But again, you don't have forever like you do with gel polish or your 3D gels. So just keep that in mind when you are using acrylic for 3D art. So for the pot of gold, I'm going to be using Mr. Grey from Nail Swag. And this is just a black mica pigment that I got off eBay. So I'm going to be using a combination of both of those. And then I'm going to be using the Ugly Duckling, oh, it's a bit big, the Ugly Duckling clear acrylic powder. So I'm going to be using that. So I'll pick up a bead of acrylic, then dip it into the 2 pigment powders before I apply it to the nail. Now, one of the things I did forget to mention is that if you are putting acrylic over the top of any sort of gel polish or even chrome like this, it's really important to put some sort of top coat over the top, because the monomer liquid will actually strip away the chrome as if you were wiping it with a cleaning solution. So keep that in mind before you apply acrylic over the top of chrome or any sort of pigment powders that are applied to the nail. So to use this, I'm actually using a 3D acrylic brush. So you can get this from a lot of nail supply stores, but this one is actually the Kirsty Meakin one. Oh, I took that lid off. The Kirsty Meakin brand. Yeah, there. Yeah, so it's the Kirsty Meakin brand. It's it's actually a 2-headed brush. So this one's my normal acrylic brush that I use when I create acrylic nails. All right, so I'm going to start off, we're going to dip our brush into our monomer. Just getting rid of any air bubbles in there. Just wiping it slightly. Picking up some of our clear acrylic. Dipping it into the black. Then dipping it into the grey. And then applying it to the nail. Make sure that you clean your brush. Then I'm going to go in and shape the bead into a circle for the pot of gold. Just spreading it out into the size that I want it to be. Making sure the top is flat because we're going to create the lip of the pot, like so. Can you see that? Then I'm going to go in and grab another bead. So again, dipping our brush into monomer, into acrylic, black, then grey. Making sure you're cleaning off your brush as you go. So there we have our little pot. So it's raised. So it's raised, giving it a little pot belly. So now I'm going to go and create the little lip that goes at the top there. So for that, just going to grab a small bead and dip it into just the black this time. Just leave it to settle for a bit before you start moving it. Like so. So there we have our little pot for our gold. For the gold part of the pot of gold, I'm actually going to be using some glitter. So from Glitter Gals, this one is called Megan. So this one is a larger glitter, so it's gonna go really well to sort of act as a pot of, as like coins at the top of the pot. So again, using our acrylic, we're gonna apply this. So using the same brush, we're dipping it into the monomer, grabbing a little bit of a clear acrylic, and then into our glitter. and applying it to the top of the pot. Like so. Then you just shape it into sort of shape that you want. Again, keeping in mind that with acrylic you do have a limited amount of time to play with it. There you go. So now I'm just applying small beads of acrylic over the top, just to sort of make sure that the glitter stays put in position where I want it to go, so that when it dries you don't have bits of glitter falling off and then it creates a gap in there. So there's our, there's our pot of gold. For our last now, we're going to be making the 4-leaf clover on there on a gold background. So using the gold that I created earlier in the video, and I'm using a small line brush from Bird. So it's just a rounded brush.
And let the music begin. I know you feel it within. So go ahead and just spin. Yeah, spin for me. Won't you spin? Don't let the doubt in you win. I know you feel it within. So go ahead and just spin. Yeah, spin for me.
So for our clover, if you look at a clover, actually each individual leaf looks like a love heart. So for this, we're going to go back to our Valentine's Day video. If you haven't watched that, I'll link it down below. But we're going to go back to that technique using the dotting tool of creating the heart. But we're going to create 4 of them to create the clover. So for this, I'm going to be using the Jelly Fit sort of dark green. It's that color. For the clover, I'm going to be using my larger dotting tool. So I'm going to go in to the gel polish with my dotting tool. So you want to make sure you sort of create a square shape so that one is not too far out from the others. Because you do want them to join up in the middle to create the clover. So I think those top ones are a bit far out, so I'm just going to clean them off. And reapply them. Then going in with our Bird Zero brush. Then going to go in and connect them and create the heart shapes.
Don't be afraid, just let go of your fears, 'cause you know you can do it, baby. Dance them away. Now
there's our clover. You can flash cure it at this stage if you'd like, but our next step is going on to the stalk for the clover. So remembering that it's coming from the middle of the clover over here and then coming out. So just trying to figure out where I want to put it. So I might have it going out here. Like so. So before you cure it, if you want to define any of your leaves a bit more, so here I want to sort of make this stand out a bit more, make it a bit more rounded. So there we have a very simple St. Paddy's Day set that you can do in the salon on your client, and it shouldn't take you a long time to do it. So just keeping in mind with the acrylic, so as you can see I've applied some of the gold glitter on the sides just to sort of add a little bit of effect, but keeping in mind that with the acrylic creating 3D art, you only have a limited amount of time, so have a look at those tips to try and slow down the curing process for the acrylic if you're not feeling confident. But you can also go, if you want, you can sort of create a more of a 3D look on the clover by adding some shadows and highlights and everything like that as well. But this is just a very simple, quick set that you can do in the salon. That's not going to take you hours and hours on end. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions or you want to know anything, where I got anything or how I did something that I may not have shown in the video, just hit me up in the comment section. And I can either post up a video showing you how to do that, or I can just give you some hints and tricks in there. Otherwise, you can also hit me up over on our Instagram, which I've also linked down below in the description box. But that is it. I do have over the next few videos some acrylic nail art, showing you how to do some acrylic nail art. So I'll go through more in depth of how to do that as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.